Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Sanctuary. I'm Bertina, your host, priestess, and yoga teacher, and I'm happy to welcome you to day 8, the final day of our special series, International Week of Yoga. Over these past few 8 days, we've taken a beautiful journey together. We began by asking, what is yoga? Then we explored the history of yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, the passive yoga, including devotion, wisdom, service, and movement, the different types of yoga, and how to choose the style that supports your body. We then connected yoga with the divine feminine and goddess spirituality. And yesterday, we explored how yoga can support healing for the mind, body, and soul. And today, we're going to bring it all together. Today, we're going to talk about how to create your own spiritual practice, a practice that you'll actually do, a practice that will fit your real life, one that honors your body, it supports your spirit, and a practice that doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Because here's the truth, yoga doesn't have to be long or complicated. Your yoga practice doesn't have to be 60 minutes every day. It doesn't have to include advanced poses, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's practice. It doesn't have to be done in a studio, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It can take 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 60 minutes. It can be one breath, a gentle stretch, a mantra, a body scan, a journaling session, a prayer. It can be lighting a candle and saying, I'm here. The power of yoga is not only in how long you practice, it's how present you are. The power is in returning to the body and the breath and to the soul, to the divine, and more importantly, to yourself. Our spiritual reflection for today is yoga becomes powerful when it becomes personal. So let's talk about how to make yoga personal, realistic, and also sacred. So, one of the things that I even have to battle for myself sometimes is the fact that it doesn't have to be complicated. Well, you don't have to have the perfect space or a mat or a certain amount of time. You just don't even have to be in the perfect spiritual mood. Real practice happens in real life. So some days it may be an hour, some days 5 minutes. Sometimes you only have time for a few breaths, and other times you have a chance to just lie down with a blanket over you and practice resting or silent meditation. It could be crying, it could be hugging yourself. The one thing to do is think about helping yourself come back to you. Yoga is not about performing a spiritual life. It's about living one. And living one means your practice needs to be able to meet you where you are and where you think you, not exactly where you think you should be, and not where someone else is, and not where your ego wants you to be, but where you are today, in this body, in this season, right now. Now, another important part about your practice is consistency. Consistency matters more than perfection. A 5 minute practice done every day or regularly can be more supportive or even powerful than a 60-minute practice that you do once a week. Consistency creates a relationship to your mat and your breath, to your meditation. And you build trust with yourself, and you begin to show your body that you're listening, and you show your spirit that you're making space. You begin to show your nervous system that you can return to calm. You begin to show the divine that you are here. But consistency does not mean rigidity. It doesn't mean forcing, and it doesn't mean shaming yourself when you miss a day. It means returning with compassion. If you miss one day, return the next. If you miss a week, return when you can. If life gets busy, simplify. If your body's tired, rest. If your mind is overwhelmed, breathe. The practice is not ruined because it was interrupted. The practice is renewed every time that you return. One of the ways that people try to keep a consistent practice is that your yoga practice should fit your life. It should support the life that you actually have, not what you see on social media. So if you're a parent or you're working long hours or you've just come from a surgery, you're dealing with grief or stress or traveling, you need for your practice to be compassionate and realistic. It's got to be able to be done because if you put such high expectations on yourself, you're not going to succeed. Your practice should also fit your body. That means modifications are welcome. Chairs are welcome, and so are props. Bed yoga, definitely. Slow movement, rest, and even stillness is welcome. You don't need to force your body into someone else's version of yoga, not even the teacher standing in front of you. Your practice should also fit your spiritual path. If you like devotions, include prayer and mantra. If you're reflective, include journaling. If you're intuitive, include body listening or cards. If you're drawn to goddess spirituality, include a goddess connection. If you're priestess centered, make your practice ritual. Yoga can be practiced through movement, breath, mantra, journaling, devotion, or rest, and you get to create a practice that supports your whole self. So I'm going to give you a simple daily yoga practice formula. Okay. You can make this as long as you want it. It can be 5 minutes. You can expand it to an hour, even 2 hours. But this is the formula. Number one is to arrive. Two is breathe. Three is move. Four is listen. Five is connect. Six is rest. And seven is reflection. So let's walk through these steps. The first one is arrive. That just means be there. Create a time or something that shows you that it's beginning yoga, like light a candle. You might sit quietly or place one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, ring a bell. This just tells your body and spirit that we're entering practice. This is a sacred container. And it just allows you to begin with intention. For those on the priestess path, this is the moment you're entering the temple, and the temple is your own body. The second one is breathe. Take a few slow breaths. Breathing helps you gather scattered energy and helps you be present in the moment. And it's the most simplest and most powerful way to begin a yoga practice. The third step is to move. That doesn't have to be complicated. You can roll your shoulders, stretch your neck, circle your waist, move your spine, do a seated forward fold, practice cat cow, all of those things. But just do one thing and then move into something else that feels supportive. Some days your movements may be strong and others they may be tiny. Some days it may simply be placing your hand on your body and noticing your breath, and that's enough. Movement helps you reconnect with your body. And one of the most important ways to also reconnect is to listen. After you move, pause. Ask yourself, what do you feel? Notice your energy. Notice your emotions. Ask yourself, what is your body trying to tell you? This is one of the most important parts of yoga. Yoga is not only doing, it is listening. And when we pause and listen, we begin to rebuild this trust with the body. We begin to hear the wisdom beneath the noise. And then this helps you connect. And this is where your practice becomes spiritual. Prayer, mantra, affirmations, journaling, it's up to you. You might just say, may this practice help me return to peace, presence, a sacred connection. Anything. This movement of connection helps bridge the body and the spirit, and it reminds you that yoga is not just exercise, it's a sacred relationship. And then finally, allow yourself to rest. End with stillness and meditation or yoga nidra. Just even 1 minute makes a difference. Do a short body scan, place a blanket over yourself, put an eye pillow on, listen to a guided meditation. Let the practice settle. Rest is where the body integrates. It's where the nervous system receives and where the soul can speak. Please, please, please do not skip rest or shavasana just because you think it's not productive. Rest is part of the practice, and rest is sacred. And then reflect. After practice, journal a sentence about how you feel. My shoulders feel softer. I notice sadness. I needed rest. I felt connected. And simply say, I'm proud of myself for showing up. Reflection helps you notice the effect of your practice. It helps you build self awareness and it helps you understand what supports you. Now, it also turns your yoga practice into a conversation with your own soul. Now, just take a few moments and create a 5 minute practice, a 10-minute practice, a 60-minute practice. Follow those steps. And because this is our final day of our 8-day series, I want to invite you to choose one practice you're going to carry forward. Not 10, not a complicated routine, just one. It could be the somatic yoga that I offer on Tuesdays, and maybe listening to the Yoga Nidra video that I provided for you. It may be beginning your day with a mantra, reading a book on yoga, practicing chair yoga, meditating, joining me for our meditation classes on the first and third Thursday. Maybe choose a day of the week for devotional yoga, or just maybe sitting and asking, what do I need today? The practice you carry forward should be realistic, it should be obtainable, and it should feel like something that your body and your spirit can actually receive. This is how yoga becomes part of life, not through pressure, but through relationship, not through comparison, but through presence. And just because you may have started your yoga practice and then left, doesn't mean you have to do the same one. Change it up. Just be happy that you're coming back to the mat. Again, today's spiritual reflection is yoga becomes powerful when it becomes personal. I want you to journal sometime this week and ask yourself what kind of yoga practices can you realistically commit to this week? How much time can you give? What time of the day feels the best? What does your body need most right now? How can I keep it simple? Spend some time, stop this podcast, this video, and journal. But before we close this final episode, I invite you to choose one practice. I want you to be honest, to make it simple, and to be kind to yourself. You may want to repeat after me to yourself. I choose a practice that supports me. I return to myself with compassion. My yoga is allowed to be personal, sacred, and real. I want you to take one more breath. And as we close this 8-day journey, I want to thank you for walking through International Week of Yoga with me. If you've listened to one episode or all 8, I hope that this series helped you see yoga in a deeper way. If you've missed any of the episodes, just simply go back to episode 110 and just work your way through. But I want you to realize that yoga is not just movement or poses. It's a sacred path. It's a path of returning home. And I hope and wish that you carry this practice forward in a way that supports your real life. May your practice bring you to your inner temple. Namaste.